A cordial welcome to all of you on this sunny, breezy morning. A successful night lies behind us, and I'm happy to have on my left and to my right the two surprise choices, if you like, of Joachim Löw to play against Greece. Before we deal with these players, allow me just to provide you with some information. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel visited not just the game, but also the dressing room, together with the government spokesman Stefan Seibert. And it came to the almost obligatory little team talk by our VIP fan, Angela Merkel, that is. And what has also trickled through is that she's promised to the team that if things do work out and there's no political emergency to be solved, she will indeed join us at the final, if Germany get there, at Kiev. On the stand last night we had Michel Platini, the German FA General Secretary Sandrock, Vice Presidents Peter Peters and Reinhard Raubal, who's also head of the League Association. When we arrived back from the game at the team hotel, there were moments of bafflement and insecurity because we received the somewhat surprising news that there was a power shortage in the Oliva part of town, which is also true for the hotel. So we arrived there pitch dark. The hotel staff had put candles on the table, so it was a romantic late-night snack. People have asked us a number of times, what are your plans? Where do you go from here? Well, we're just adding the finishing touches to our plans, and we hope to be able to tell you all this in more detail as the day progresses, possibly as early as this afternoon. I'm also happy that our sponsor Adidas has distributed a few freebies here and there. I don't see anything though. Marco Reus, André Schürrle, you're Siamese twins. At least that's how you come across. People always see you together. You go to lunch together, dinner together, and probably sit down over breakfast together. Let's begin with Marco Reus. You've scored the goal, so you are given the preferential treatment here. How did you see last night's game? Surely it'll be put on a special shelf, a virtual shelf in your room. Yes, absolutely. It was my first game at the European Championships. And I was really very keen on showing the team and the public what I'm capable of. I'm very happy that we've progressed to the next round, that we're in the semi-finals. André Schürrle, how did you live through last night? The two of us were told at more or less the same time that we'd be in the starting lineup, so there were some pre-match nerves, I must admit. We also saw a video of scenes back home in Germany that people are going into raptures about how we play. I think right from the start we showed that we are the better team, created lots of chances, and maybe should have opened the scoring much earlier than we did. But eventually I think that 4-2 win was well deserved, and we're all looking forward to the next stage. A question for both. Looking ahead, who would be your preferred opponent for the semis, and why? Well, personally speaking, I don't really care that much. We know we're a strong side, and we're going to watch the other quarterfinals very relaxed and just take things as they come. That's exactly how I see it. If we play to our full potential, any opponent will have a difficult time, be it England or Italy. So we can really watch that game without the slightest pressure. What? Nicht viele Mannschaften würden in der Anfangsformation gleich 3 Änderungen vornehmen auf einem solch hohen Niveau. Sagt es das etwas aus über die sogenannte Breite in der Spitze? Yes, I agree. We know, are conscious and are aware of the strength of the team and of the overall squad that we have. The national coach wanted some changes, and that's exactly what he did. And I think it was visible to all that performance level didn't drop, and that everybody in the squad can be a worthwhile, a valuable addition to the team's performance. That's, I think, is our greatest advantage, that we have a full squad of 23, all on the same level. Question for both. When were you told that you'd be in the starting lineup against Greece? And what did you hear from your opponents, in inverted commas, Thomas Müller and Podolski? Did they offer words of encouragement? I heard it at the team meeting, as is usual, and obviously the head coach wishes you the best of luck. Go out there and don't hide yourselves on the pitch. I think we're a team. When we were sitting on the bench, we wished them the best of luck, and vice versa. I think the actual strength of the team showed itself. The team meeting was at 1:30 p.m. What did you hear about it? Shortly after breakfast, on my way back to the room, I just our paths crossed on the hotel square, and he just told me, "Oh, Andre, you're in my starting lineup." And as Marco said, we get people wishing us well from all quarters, and that includes, of course, our in-team rivals, in inverted commas. You haven't been with the national team for long. How do you see the federal coach? Because fielding you was a bit of a risk, wasn't it? I disagree with the risk bit. We have 23 very good players, and I think that became visible in the Bundesliga when Bundesliga teams play in Europe. That were all very strong. And the head coach had said all along that I was to offer myself in training, present myself in training. And he invested his confidence in me, and I paid that back. A question for both. Were you surprised by the state of the turf? Because it wasn't really in its best state, was it? It was pretty deep, especially almost muddy. Especially in the box, it was very difficult to find your footing, and that, I think, was visible when we tried some finishing, and it appeared dodgy, but it wasn't. It just, we didn't get a firm footing. Yes, very deep turf there, bit soddy, but it was something that both teams had to contend with. A question for Marco Reus. If you're not in the team for the first few weeks, is there any support from back home, the family? Well, motivation from our family is huge. This is my first major tournament, and it had always been my objective to, get minutes. And yes, I was disappointed at first. But, as I said, the Löw has always, invested his trust in me, and told me to go on working, and I would eventually get my chance. And that's how it turned out. Question from Sweden for both. How would you describe Joachim Löw, the coach? He's a very good coach. We get the best possible preparation. He has an exact game plan, an exact philosophy, and this he really inculcates in us. We have to internalize his philosophy, and he doesn't leave anything to chance in almost no respect. and only then can you be really successful. Also, it is fantastic fun to be able to contribute. That's, I agree, in all respects. Okay, let me try again. Looking at England and Italy, where would the English/Italian strengths and where are their weak spots? If you look at England, I think they have stepped up and they've exceeded everybody's expectations. Also, they have now added Wayne Rooney to their list of active players. But I still think that we have the better squad, both individually speaking and as a team. And I think the European Champions title is a title that we are the team to beat. We are the team to beat. Well, England, I think, sits very deep. They have a very solid 4-4-2 system, and they are trying to lie in wait to score on the counter. Wayne Rooney, I think, is a tremendously important figure for England. Italy have taken me a bit by surprise. I think they play very forward-oriented football, have created lots of goal-scoring chances, so they both have their strengths and weaknesses that we will analyze in due course and try and benefit from those. Against Italy or England, do you think there might not be a danger in playing so offensively minded that you might get caught out? Yes, I agree. Yesterday's lineup was very attack orientated, but we always try to implement our own philosophy. It's just that most of us are offensively minded. Just look at the squad. But having said that, I think we also had a very good work rate in the back, tracking back, and except for that one very good counter-attack from which Greece scored, we didn't really allow them many chances, did we? That's it. Well, they obviously are like Siamese twins, responding for each other. Yeah, Harold told you as the twins. Is it really so? Yes, of course. When I was still playing at Mönchengladbach, André, who lives in Cologne, by the way, playing for Leverkusen though, we visited each other and, went out for a snack after matches. Yeah, we're just good friends, more or less on the same wavelength, and it's very important for me too that there is somebody like that in the team. Mario Götze more or less ticks the same way as I do. It's always fun being with him. Vor dem Turnier sagten viele, dass Deutschland unter Umständen der Favorit Nummer 1 ist, statt Spanien. Was halten Sie von dieser Einschätzung? Und welches Gefühl haben Sie jetzt? Sind wir in die Favoritenrolle Nummer 1 aufgestiegen? Prior to the tournament, our objective was to really go out and try to win that trophy. I think we've increased and stepped up our performance. We are the team to beat, and we're looking forward to the semi-final. I would say that we've shown and proven that people's assessment of us being tournament favourites was actually true. And that was important for us. We approached the semi-final with a great sense of self-confidence, so that I think we've corroborated and confirmed our position. Marco, you're highly efficient in finishing In the first half, you had some 2 or 3 goal-scoring opportunities that you wasted. Were you happy about that? Obviously not. And don't you think that you have caused the national head coach to really be very, very furious at you? Well, I was angry not to have scored from the 2 or 3 chances. But the important thing is that to go on thinking positively, and that you are convinced that when I get my chances, I will eventually score a goal. I know that I maybe should have played a bit more concentrated. I try to improve in training all the time. And yes, I saw that on replays that Löw really hit the roof when we didn't convert all those chances. You were added as the, quote, reviving element in offense. However, do you feel a little shred of guilt because, Greece scored on the counter when you lost that ball? Rolls Royce. Is that a good nickname to have? Yes, I agree that it was sloppy passing, a bit lazy passing on my part that invited Greece to counter-attack. I gave away possession too easily, and it was annoying. And I know that on 2 or 3 occasions I gave the ball away too easily, and that's what I have to improve, definitely. Well, nicknames are something that you can't really influence, can you? People give it to you and that's it. That's how the English work. I just tried to play my own play and put the foot on the accelerator and help the team. Hopefully they spelled Rolls Royce correctly. Marco, you come across as a very quiet, almost timid kind of guy, and yet you have a killer instinct. Is it a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing? Well, there's really no reason, if you've played well, to slap yourself on the shoulder or come across as, euphoric, arrogant. I know full well that there's plenty of room for improvement as far as my own game is concerned. I'm just happy for me to be on the pitch. It did me a world of good last night. And I'm just happy the way the situation is. You could just have slotted the ball home. Why is it that you really whacked it right underneath the crossbar? Well, I saw it later on TV, and I thought there would be a few people on the line, some Greek players who could have, done some tackling. So as far as I was concerned, at that moment in time, there was no other choice for me but to really hit it hard. And of course, it was a beautiful goal, but I was kind of lucky. Question for both. Do you think that you've now won your place in the starting lineup for the rest of the tournament, or could you live with a situation where you would lose your place? Yes, of course I hope that I will be given more chances. But the thing is, the team spirit stands above all other considerations, and we just leave it to the federal head coach to decide who he feels is the best man on the night. We will accept all decisions, and we will give our role. Has anybody told you that your haircut is better than Mario Gomez's? How am I to understand this question? That I look better than Mario? Well, we're really looking forward to that response. Well, I don't know, he says. Feels visibly flattered. I mustn't say anything wrong about Mario now. No, joking apart. I always try to get the best out of me. And I think Mario Gomez is a good-looking bloke. But as far as haircuts are concerned, I think Marco Reus rules. Well, let's just say that you've got beautiful hair. Full stop. Question for both. There are 6 days, an awful lot of time, between the quarterfinals and the semis. Your opponent will have 2 days less of a pause. Well, it is quite a long time between matches, I agree. Days will go on almost endlessly, and I would actually prefer for us to have less time to prepare for the next game. The good thing is we have plenty of time to regenerate, and maybe that will tilt the balance towards us being a little more, a little fresher, a little more relaxed, and a little, more alert on game night. The German national team has the youngest age average of all teams in the tournament. And even with the team being that young, you are freshmen, if you like. And is there even another generation, an even younger generation, knocking on the door? I think we have a very young team. You're absolutely right. Not just Andre and myself, but also other players who haven't played yet. It's just that we have a fantastic sense of harmony, especially the youngsters. There is great fun. We do a lot together, and we enjoy being together. Are we the new generation? Well, I don't know. I think that's just developed over time, that more and more younger players come forward, and I don't really think that we are a new generation. Well, there is a bit of a younger generation there. I think you're correct in saying that. If you look at Philipp Lahm and Bastian Schweinsteiger, for example, they are established players, have plenty of tournaments under their belts, and they are a slightly older, in inverted commas, generation. But I think it does the team good to have more experienced players and younger players coming through. So the mix is just ideal. Maybe you just rewind to the goal. Was the mighty shot? Why did you hit it so strongly? And also, it looked like you come onto the pitch, and it seemed as if you'd never done anything else but play for the national team. Is it such an easy thing to do? How did you prepare mentally for the game? Or is your mental preparation any different? Well, of course you prepare differently. It's not just yet another Bundesliga game. I had really set high targets for myself. I wanted to show the team that I am there to help, that I make a meaningful contribution. So I was very happy to be right in the game and have got a lot of balls played to my feet, some successful dribbling. And I know that for the 90 minutes, on a good day, I can wreak havoc with any defense. And when I scored, it was a bit a hard shot, and there was a little cramp in my muscles, but that later loosened up again in my calf. Oliver Fritsch. Question for both. It was meant to surprise the opponent that you'd been the starting lineup, and yet it was hours before kickoff. It was public knowledge because the national news agencies distributed that news worldwide. How can this happen? Because it was much to the annoyance of the head coach. Was it a disadvantage? Well, I don't really know. But yes, it was unfortunate that at a very early stage, 2 o'clock, 2:30, everybody and his dog knew just what the starting lineup would be, with Sven Beider, with or without him. And there seems to be some kind of leakage, some kind of mole giving these things away. But has it been to our disadvantage? I don't think so. Yes, I agree. I don't know who the mole is, but it didn't work to our detriment. Ja, Frage für beide. Ja, wenn man sie als Zwillinge bezeichnet, sie waren ja beide ganz neu dabei. Haben sie untereinander gesprochen vorher? Und inzwischen sind sie auf der Weltbühne. Das heißt, dass immer mehr Leute sich für sie interessieren, die internationalen Medien. Und heißt das, dass sie auch etwas Privatleben aufgeben müssen? I think everybody wants to be on the world stage. Every professional athlete is dying to be the talk of the town. And I agree that many, many millions of people watch broadcasts on TV. And yes, I know that it'll give us more attention and more fans. And by consequence, more media representatives. But at the same time, I think we're modest. We keep our feet firmly on the ground. So we don't think we'll be making major mistakes. We're just enjoying the day, enjoying the moment. Andre, the fact that the lineup was in the public domain much too early. Yeah, the lineup being in the public domain. Is it true that Joachim Löw gave you a good piece of his mind, the team? Yes, he definitely raised the issue, and it was anything but amused. And he made it clear. And I don't think that's anybody from the team. I just cannot imagine anybody in the team doing these things. And the head coach told us in no uncertain terms that he wasn't happy. But having said that, I don't think that the mole can be found in that squad of 23. Right. Thank you very much. 12:30 tomorrow. The team captain and Costa Rica goal scorer, Philipp Lahm, will be here.